Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Buckeye fans of all ages, welcome back to the Ohio State of Mind podcast, the only Buckeye podcast that will promise you tracks from the 1994 hit comedy classic Dumb and Dumber with every episode. That's a guarantee. As always, I'm Chris. As always, I'm Chris. To my left here, my hetero life mate Josh. Josh, how are we?
Dude, I'm doing great. You know what another great rabbit hole to travel down is?
Okay.
I may have been under the influence and watched every Lil Sweet commercial ever made on YouTube.
Lil Sweet. You mean the Dr. Pepper dude?
Oh, dude, that bro, those commercials crack me up, dude. And now, and knowing that's the dude who won American Idol just makes it wild. So much better, bro.
That is wild.
We don't talk enough about the genius marketing of Dr. Pepper in the early 2000s with Lil Sweet and then Dr. Pepper 10, the soda just for men. We don't talk about it. Those
dude, I mean, let's be real. They're having, and now we're talking Fansville.
That's right. Yeah,
you know?
Dude. Yeah, they're killing it, bro. They're killing it. Then before it was what's his name? The fucking dude with he would walk through the stands. Larry Culpepper.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, dude.
There you go. Will Buck, evening guys. Evening, Will. How are you? Will also shouts out Aaron. Aaron, if you're lurking in the chat, give us a holler. I think good week of football this last weekend. Oh, here he is. Fun story. Will sprained his ankle and was hurt for 2 more years. Joe Burrow lost a toe and is practicing already. I did hear Joe Burrow will be practicing this week. That is wild. Dude. That's great because he was like a 4th round pick on my fantasy team, and I'm in the fucking toilet right now in my work league. But awesome.
Why do you still have him, dude?
Dude, you're going to put him in my IR spot. I'm going to.
Oh, that's true. That's fair. I got Malik Neighbors there, so I know what you mean.
Yeah. Good week of college football. Good week of pro football. I know you can only divulge so much brain power to one nowadays, but what'd you get into this weekend? Anything fun?
More about timing, but yeah, dude. Oh, fucking great week, man. Gambling, bro. I went 5-0 on Friday. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, CUSA action was up and down. But Friday, we hit the ground running. USC did us right. There were some pretty questionable calls that favored me, but I don't know if they would have mattered. USC, once they figured it out, they were rolling. Right. They're a very good team, very quality team. Saturday, another great day. Everything was pretty predictable as far as the SEC and Big Ten go. Right. We'll dive into the schedule. I mean, I guess we can talk about it. Ohio State, I didn't bet on that game. The ACC was wild, though.
Oh, buddy. ACC took a walloping this weekend, did they not?
Yeah, man. You had Louisville, who lost outright to Cal, which we knew Cal was okay, but we thought Louisville was legit.
Yeah,
that's the difference, right? We know Cal's not a bad team, but Cal is on. They beat Minnesota, but we thought Louisville was legit. Virginia got beat out right by Wake. No one saw that coming. That was absolutely wild.
Yeah.
The fall of Jamie Chadwell and Liberty, that continues. I know a lot of people in this chat probably don't care, but that is fascinating. I mean, Jamie Chadwell is the guy that put Coastal Carolina on a map. I know someone's got to do some maybe he's got like a Samson thing going on where he cut his hair. He didn't have that mullet now, dude. I don't know what's
right.
Yeah, the Liberty's awful, atrocious. Last week on the podcast, I talked about how I've lost a whole paycheck on Sam Houston.
Right.
Well, I finally bet against them this week, and they won outright.
There it is.
I bet against them. Against them, and they lost. Dude, isn't that fucking crazy, man? It's crazy. Oregon State was favored by 19.5. Couldn't fucking pull it off. But yeah, man. If you want to dive into the Big Ten,
Aaron jumps in. Yeah, absolutely. Aaron jumps in. This is Mizzou is officially out of it. You know what? I like that Missouri team too. I like the way Purdue has been playing this year. But yeah, I'm going to have to say that they're out of it as well.
Can we talk about? Let's talk about Missouri for a second here.
Yeah,
Missouri was always a little fraudulent because Missouri, they didn't play their first away game until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
right.
Week 9, week 8.
Yeah, man. Week 9, so they were always a little bit fraudulent. You know how hard it is to travel in college. Now that's getting easier and easier and easier with every year we go. But yeah, when you don't leave your own confines for 9 goddamn weeks. That's crazy. That's crazy. So we kind of knew they were fraudulent. I actually won money on that game too. I took Texas A&M. So
very nice, very
yeah.
nice. What else? You brought up Louisville, and where are we at here? Hold on, I'm still. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's if we bring up Louisville, we've got to do this. Let's hit it.
Jeff Brom, how in the world are you starting this game tonight after taking that hit just 6 days ago?
Well, let me answer that question by asking you 2 questions. One, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. 2, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
What a great fucking league, dude. What a great fucking great logos, dude. Or the Orlando Rage, baby. Speaking of, the Columbus Aviators released their season ticket packages this week. So
I know you peeked at those. What are we thinking?
Oh, dude, hell yeah. Very reasonable too. The cheapest package was like $60
for
5 games. I'm like, hell yeah, bro. So I'll be signing up for that, dude.
Very nice, very nice. Will chimes in. Is it rumor that Penn State is in talks with Brian Kelly? I'll touch this a bit. Brian Kelly, he's been all over the place. He's got all the accolades. He's got everything that the big time head coaches have besides that national championship. He couldn't do it at Notre Dame because he said he would never have the resources there. He went to LSU, and it's just not going to work out either. I just don't. There comes a time in grown men or head coaches eras they accept, like, hey, I'm just not going to reach that mountain. And I don't think he is with Penn State either. But Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, man, no, that's not happening. Penn State's not going to hire Brian Kelly. They're looking to make a big splash. You're looking at either maybe Alex Golish. That's the kind of guy they're going to look for, an up-and-comer. Alex Golish is the first one to come to mind. He's probably going to stay in the state of Florida, but it's something to monitor. They're not going to go for Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's issue, Brian Kelly is a good coach. He's an above average coach. Okay, maybe I want to watch when I say good. He's an above average coach. Someone is going to hire him. If I were him, I would take a break, reflect. But I think his issue at Notre Dame was that he's a dick. I think like when he was talking about like not having the resources, he's not wrong. Notre Dame has way more resources now than they had with him. So to act like Freeman is, Freeman is an upgrade. Whatever. He's just a dick. You got, in college, you got to be able to play the game, kiss babies, and do what you need to do. Get on your knees a little bit. And he's not really willing to do that. I mean, he killed the guy, so that. Yeah.
Aaron jumps in. Penn State can have him. His reputation to treat players is so bad. I would never send my kid to him. No, I agree. I assume we're alluding to the Greg Brooks Jr. story as well. But I don't see. Other names I've heard was, being vindicated was Pat Fitzgerald, but Pat Fitzgerald and Penn State University, that's at this current state isn't a mix. There's 2 rights don't make a wrong in a sense. I don't see that happening either. I think it's going to be like Josh said. I think it's going to be like a young up-and-comer. Maybe he's got a new perspective, a new way of looking at things that Penn State hadn't really been accustomed to in their long and long tenured tradition. That is Penn State. Overrated coach ever since I saw that video of him dancing with a recruit. And that just shows he's fake.
So weird.
What are you talking about? Ryan Day had John Legend in the office today. You saw that on social media?
I know. Why, though?
He's from Columbus.
Just because? I think he's an Ohio guy, right?
He's from Columbus.
Yeah. Is he from Columbus? I think John Legend's – I think John Lacey's over – or John Legend's from our neck of the woods. I think he's from, like, Springfield, right?
I think he's like Springfield.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That makes sense too. Okay. He's a sociopath. Hey, I'm neither here nor there. I can't delve into that one.
Brian Kelly? Brian Kelly. He might be.
You want a quick 5 minutes on Big Ten last week?
Sure, let's dive this. We talked about USC beating the shit out of Northwestern, Ohio State. We'll kind of get into that a little bit deeper.
Now, let me ask you. You were bringing up USC and some questionable incidents. Might I ask which one that is? Because I had one myself.
The punter,
Okay.
The punter changed his
we're on the same
number.
page.
I mean, that was blatantly not against. That was blatantly against the rules. Now, with that said, you do have to be somewhat aware, right? Like I don't know. Again, I don't think it changed the game. I think USC was always going to win. Maybe I would have lost my bet. They were given 14.5, but they were always going to win the game. They had a clear. Things were working out in their favor. The fumble through the end zone. I don't disagree with that call. I like that call. I think that's a great call. I don't think that football should ever change that call, but it benefited USC, right? It's still a crapshoot. It never happens, and it finally happened. It happened against USC. The guy was on the 1 yard line. Two major momentum swings that were kind of iffy, kind of random.
Right.
Some would say maybe, not fair. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I don't think it would have changed the conclusion of the game, maybe just the spread.
No, I agree. I'm going to caveat here to Aaron. Not sure if you guys hit it yet, but some big recruitment news this week, obviously. And Will jumps in with some good flips. And Matt Wilhelm's son. Yes, Ohio State added 3 4-star recruits this last week since we've been on. 4-star cornerback from Florida State. That's Jay Timmons from the state of Georgia. Obviously, Mason Wilhelm, son of Matt Wilhelm, coming to play for the Bucks. He's an offensive lineman. 4-star defensive tackle Emmanuel Ruffin from Alabama. He flipped from Colorado. And, of course, here within the last day, Legend Bay flips from Tennessee, a 4-star athlete out of the state of Texas. Yes, some big-time recruit flips.
Yeah, man, Legend Bay is going to be a super interesting to watch. As I've said numerous times on the show, I don't invest a lot of time in the high school recruiting until the pen meets paper. So we're talking about highlights that come up in my feed, right? I'm not watching high school tape, but he's an interesting one, dude. I saw a lot of people talking about him playing quarterback at Tennessee before he made the flip to Ohio State. So it's like, well, what is he going to play at Ohio State? What's the thought process there? He's a great athlete, like you said. But, if Tennessee thinks that he's good enough to play quarterback, well, he's probably good enough to play quarterback at Ohio State, I guess. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's an interesting name to monitor.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. So we had some funky stuff going on at USC. What else we want to hit the Big Ten?
Yeah, sure. So Penn State almost lost to Indiana. Right, we've talked.
Indiana almost lost to Penn State. Yeah, but yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. yeah. Indiana almost lost to Penn State. I think we're starting to see. We talked about it last week on the show. I didn't have the balls to bet on it, but Penn State's a very good team. The talent is there, and we've talked about how Indiana's flaw. I don't know if we talked about it, but we've alluded to the fact that Indiana's flaws is probably going to be their depth, right? We're seeing it. Zen Mikulski, who was basically ran out of Columbus, started there due to injury. Elijah Surratt's hurt. I think you could notice the difference. They won. They squeaked out a victory, and they deserved it. But man, and I'm not rooting against it. It was a game I really didn't care about. It was kind of hard for me to watch because I felt like I was wanting Indiana to lose just because everybody loves them so much, and that's not really a fun way to watch a game. But yeah, man, it's super interesting. There's definitely flaws within Indiana. Indiana did not look good. We know that Penn State's not a great team, right? We just know that they have talent. Indiana's offensive line got pushed around. We saw Fernando Mendoza. I know everybody. Oh, the Heisman Mendoza. Yeah. He didn't have a good game. No, that was a bad game. He played poorly.
He had a bad game. Obviously, like we said, they're not the deepest team. At the same time, they're a team that is going, 100 miles an hour every game, and eventually it's going to catch up with you. It caught up to some of his playmakers and some of his protection up front, and he had a very bad game. And we were ready to, the media was ready to rip him right out of that Heisman, but now he's right back in it because his receiver made a phenomenal catch that was going to be on every highlight reel for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and whatever. He threw to the right guy. It is what it is. I'm not shitting on Mendoza. I didn't know that in the preseason, but he didn't have a good. The point of that game is that Indiana has flaws.
Yes.
We knew it. We're gonna see it. I have no issue betting my life savings that Ohio State's going to pound Indiana into the fucking dirt. Like you said, they go with 100. No, the problem when you listen to these podcasts, and I sent you one I was on last week, and I love the boys at TCE, but the problem is that, and I'm not saying that they don't watch the games, but when Ohio State, you're able to, when you're watching Ohio State football and you follow Ohio State football, you're able to recognize, like, well, that guy's not supposed to be playing. Oh, well, that's different. Why are they doing that? Right? Does that make sense?
No,
so
absolutely.
I'm sure other teams do this as well, and I don't notice it, right? Because I'm involved in the Big Ten. If a team in the Big Ten does it, I'm probably going to notice. But if Georgia or Texas A&M are doing this, I probably wouldn't notice. I don't watch them enough, right? But you could just tell these pundits are like, Indiana's killing everybody. They're doing everything. Yeah, but like you said, they're going 100. What they find what works and they drive it into the fucking ground. And that's great. That's awesome. But that's not how Ohio State works. Now, I don't think Ohio State played well this weekend either. I want to be very clear. But before this, when they were experimenting, a lot of that was down to experimentation and what they were doing, rotating guys in super fucking early, acting like it was a practice. But, whatever. I just don't think that people recognize that. Ryan Day doesn't just drive it into the ground, right? He slows down the game. He tries new things. So, I mean, it is what it is. Rutgers beat the shit out of Maryland. I won some money there. Good point, Josh. Do you think Coach is wearing these guys down? Will says, yeah, man. Signetti's already I don't know what his plan is. I don't know if it's because Ryan Day has NFL experience that it's provided him this insight. He's really, again, if you tell me Ole Miss is doing it, I'll take your word for it. I'm not watching every Ole Miss game. But based off of what I've seen, he's really the only team. They're really the only team that's throttling down this hard. And they were doing it last year, right? Last year we were thinking maybe they're throttling down because they have so much goddamn depth. I don't think that's the case. I think that's always his plan. I mean, we saw Isaiah Pryor. That's not Isaiah Pryor. Who was it?
Quarterback.
The running back that got fucking blown up. West.
Yeah. Isaiah West.
Yes. Isaiah West. Jeez, Isaiah Pryor. He's at Cincinnati now. Who's having a great season. But yeah, I mean, that guy played in the first drive. Mylan Graham played in the first drive, right? Carnell Tate could have played. You know what I mean? Ian Moore got his first start, right? Like, it was just like, you spent all this money on Oninawa and you're going to put Ian Moore out. Like, there's just, he's very, he is what Ohio State does is maybe the example of like, oh, the regular season is watered down because he does. He's like, he's got everybody in a little bit of a snap count in his hat.
Yeah.
So whether that, and Signetti doesn't. Signetti just fucking doesn't. But, we'll see. We're going to see in a couple weeks.
Very much so. Aaron, any news on Tate? Haven't heard anything. Like Josh said, he could have played, but did he need to? If he would have tweaked, tugged, pulled at something in warm up, sure. But that doesn't help the vision at the end of the road, and it's Purdue. So
no, there were a lot of guys that were bumped and bruised that didn't even see the field. Phil Daniels being another one. I don't know if Phil Daniels would have been able to play.
Yeah.
But, even if they were playing Michigan, I believe he is legitimately hurt. But maybe, who else was out? God, there was another person that didn't see the field. But regardless, Carnell Tate definitely would have played if it was somebody good. But, yeah, Rutgers beat the shit out of Maryland. We kind of saw that coming. Oregon barely beat Iowa. We talked about this.
What a game.
I won some money on Oregon didn't look good. Oregon did not look good. They finished strong. Dante Moore finished strong. But they didn't look good. I know they ran the ball all over Iowa. I was super shocked by that. But they just didn't look. I think Iowa shot themselves in the foot. They had a fumble, and then they get that punt situation, very un-Iowa-ish. Now, I know it was raining, it was pouring rain, but if Ohio State has to play Oregon again, I'm feeling, after watching that, I feel pretty good about it. Washington, go on. I'm sorry.
I felt the same way. I think obviously the rain that really slowed down that Oregon offense. But again, it's tough to go in and play in Iowa. It's tough to play against a good Kirk Ferentz Iowa coach defense. At the same time, I watched myself saying, "Hey man, like this is concern." I'm like, maybe what happens if the Buckeyes go into Ann Arbor, Michigan? We're talking about a sleet, flurry, rain mix. Something we hadn't been baptized by this season.
Yeah, it could look pretty similar to that. But again, Oregon came out with the dub. So, and I think Ohio State's defense is much better than Oregon's defense. So,
wholeheartedly.
And then Washington lost outright to Wisconsin. We talked about on the show. I took Wisconsin. I actually put real money on that. Did not take them on the money line because I pushed down on that. But Wisconsin has had a pulse lately. I don't know why, but they have.
They announced they're keeping Fickle on Tuesday, and then guess what? They come out and they beat Washington.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, a little bit weird, huh?
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
Like, we actually like this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But Washington's been a weird team too. They've been very up and down. They're talked about them. They've had moments where they look good. I think they've had moments where they look like an elite offense, and then they have moments where it's like, oh, okay, you're just going to go 3 and out 5 times in a row. So I think it was just bad timing. We kind of talked about too. Wisconsin's a hard place to play, especially when you're going across country. Nebraska, that was another game we were on. I did end up pissing out. I did not make any money on this, but we talked about Nebraska went out to LA, and UCLA was actually favored, and Dylan Wardell was hurt. And man, I gotta tell you, that offense looks rejuvenated with Latif. 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards, and 30 yards rushing.
Yeah.
That's a dude. I'm not saying that he's better than Raiola, but I think he opens up the offense.
I know we elaborated to it last week. We thought that this is a quarterback that fit the offensive coordinator's play style a little bit better. Let him go to some of those deeper pages in the playbook that he had. Like Coach Klein and the Water Boy, that little green notebook. This is something he had tucked away back there.
Yeah, man. Holgerson likes a guy that can run around, and Latif can. And they look good. Nebraska did look good. It makes you wonder, like, man, if this guy would have started the whole year, I wonder. But
right? What Washington lost to Wisconsin? Started a busy weekend. Assuming many upsets this weekend. Yeah, a lot of upsets. It's
he missed a good weekend.
We said it earlier. ACC just got manhandled this weekend. We're talking about how many teams does ACC get in? Maybe they get 2. We don't know. That kind of blew up. But then everybody who this first college football playoff ranking came out, and then everybody besides the Buckeyes are like, kind of took a step back if they didn't get knocked off.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that the ACC took an ass beat, because it wasn't like they lost out of conference. It was just like it would be equivalent to what happened. They just cannibalized themselves, right? And it's unfortunate that what cannibalized them was the bottom of the tier, the conference, right? It'd be like if Purdue lost, if Purdue ended up beating Ohio State, or if Penn State ended up beating Indiana. Right. It doesn't raise Penn State's profile. They're out of it, right? And that's what kind of happened to Louisville. So the teams that won those games, we just said it, Wake Forest and Cal, they're not in the playoff picture. They can't be in the playoff picture. They won't be in the playoff picture. They just took out 2 teams that might have been. At the same time, Virginia's still in it. Still in it. I guess technically Louisville is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, both these teams are still in it. I'm looking at the standings right now.
A lot of things can happen.
Yeah, because the ACC is wild. So you still got there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 teams tied for first place in the ACC.
Yeah.
And then Louisville's got 2 losses right behind them. So anything can happen.
Someone's got to win it.
Yeah. Yep.
Are we ready to talk about the Ohio State game this weekend? Is that where we're at?
Sure, man. Yeah.
That is where we're at. The Buckeyes go in this Saturday. They go into Ross-Ade Stadium, come out victorious, 34-10. Obviously, as soon as I turned on the broadcast, all I was thinking about was that game in 2018 that none of us Ohio State fans or Purdue fans would ever forget, but that wasn't the case.
Oh man,
I know, right? But of course, that was a 49-20 shocker that just demolished our season. But no, Buckeyes looked good.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. Yep.
Buckeyes looked good. Obviously, they came out, like I said. Purdue comes out. They come out. They kick a field goal, win the first. They're up 3-0. It's the first time the Buckeyes have had a deficit in the first frame all season long. Then of course the Buckeyes go and rattle off 34 unanswered. Julian Sayin in that first touchdown drive connects with on a nice little pass interference and a slant that Jeremiah Smith has an awesome recovery, catches that, goes down the field, catches a 31-yard bomb that brings him up to the 1-yard line. And, of course, when the Buckeyes are on the 1-yard line, who do we give the ball to first? C.J. Donaldson, absolutely. He goes and scores. Then after that, Jeremiah Smith kind of torched the Purdue secondary. He had 10 catches, 137 yards, and a 35-yard touchdown, on a beautiful Julian Sayin deep ball. Sayin himself went 27 for 33 for 303 yards and a touchdown after he threw 4 scores against Penn State the week prior. Running game is, it's getting better. It's still searching for its rhythm. We're still chasing a 200-yard game on the ground. Still hasn't happened.
Yeah.
They finished with 170 rushing yards on 43 attempts. Bo Jackson, he led the way with 75 yards on 14 carries. Isaiah West added another 60 on 8. Let me see, 60 on 8. Yep, 60 on 8. And honestly, defense did what it needed to do. Had a nice interception, had a turnover forced by the defense with Jermaine Matthews Jr. Some big hits from Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles. We're still working on some holding calls with Davidson Igbinosun, but we're still hopeful we're going to get that turned around. I think the biggest one was special teams. Special teams, Jaden Phelan came in. He hadn't made a field goal kicker longer than 38 yards. He missed his only attempt beyond 40 in that Minnesota game, that big 53-yarder that would have been his career high. But he comes in, he makes a 48-yard field goal in the late second quarter, then followed that 48-yarder up with a 45. Both in, kind of gusty wind conditions in Ross-Ade Stadium in there. I thought he did well. And honestly, Joe McGuire only punted one at a time that on Saturday, but 44 yards and it pinned him within the 10-yard line. I thought special teams looked good. And the offense in Tate's absence, like we talked about, I thought, everybody got involved in the pass play game. We saw Bryson Rogers. We saw Claire doing his thing. We saw everybody and their brother catching balls this weekend. So I was pleasantly surprised seeing that. As we expect, it's Ohio State. It's it's the next guy up's a 5-star anyway, but pleasantly surprised.
That was kind of the part that I was actually most disappointed about was when Cardell Tate went down. It felt like there was a huge downgrade. I mean, I know Julian Sayin threw a perfect ball to Mylan Graham on third down, and Mylan dropped it, and it was like, oh shit, like is this not? And then you didn't really see those. It was the Jeremiah Smith show. Max Clare played well. Brandon Innes played well, but it was like, who's that next dude? And no one really separated themselves in the receiving game. I guess Bryson Rogers kind of did. I think he got the most snaps there, which makes sense because he started last year. I don't know. I guess I was just thinking this was a really good opportunity. When Cardell Tate went down, you texted me that Philip Daniels wasn't going to start. And my attitude was, it shouldn't matter. Basically, it should be an opportunity. Now, I kind of thought the same thing with Cardell Tate. Like I would have done the same thing and then see who's going to step up. And really, no one did, in my opinion. I was kind of disappointed because it's Purdue. You would think. I just really, really thought Mylan Graham, Quincy Porter, Bryson Rogers was going to do something electrifying. That was going to be like, that's the guy. That's the next Garrett. That's the next Garrett Wilson. That's the dude in the playoffs that's going to be able to rotate in. We're at the point in the season where someone should be shining somewhere to be that, because that's basically how Ohio State won the playoffs last year. Was the offensive line. Those guys just grew up. They developed, and then in the middle of by the time we got to the playoffs, we're rotating 3-4 guys on the interior. I kind of thought this was a good opportunity to see at the receiver position, and we didn't. Is that going to result in losses later on? No, but I mean, if Cardell Tate is legitimately hurt, if you're a good team, it might not take much to double up on Jeremiah and block out the rest. It was kind of shocking to me. On defense, there wasn't really a whole lot to bitch about. If I'm gonna nitpick, Peyton Pierce was out of position a couple times. Arvell Reese didn't dominate like you usually see him dominate, right? And I don't really know why. You with an offense that's as anemic as Purdue's. And we talked about we actually I forgot that Devin Mockbee was actually hurt, so he wasn't even out there. So that offense was losing even more talent. You kind of expect those linebackers to be flashier, and they weren't.
I also think that at the same time, we've been accustomed to the flashiness. Sometimes it's okay to have boring football. I mean,
but it's Purdue.
Right, but at the same time, it's Purdue, sandwiched between opening drive field goal and a last drive of the game touchdown against the number 2s. We're talking we're talking 41 minutes of Buckeye possession in between those two scores. That's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
lot.
it's definitely nitpicky. It's just I was listening to a lot of Ohio State podcasts, and a lot of people were this to me was the most disappointing game in a while. I guess I just expected more. It was basically glorified practice, and I thought someone was going to explode, and they didn't. It's not a bad thing. I don't think it's indicative of Ohio State going to lose later on. It's just I saw a lot of people talking about the game like, oh man, Ohio State just wrecked through another one. It was like, well, he put a lot of people out there really early, and no one really did anything. I don't know, man. It was just I guess I just expected something different. I expected someone to pop, and they didn't. But again, we're getting pretty nitpicky.
No, I get you. Will jumps in. Honestly, the passing game calls is predetermined. He's getting the ball in the first look. Yeah, we've talked about that. Absolutely, Will. You're right. Giving Rodgers some love. I thought it should have been Graham. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. A lot of 2 wide receivers and 2 tight end sets. Didn't see a whole lot of 3 wide, but like I said, I think I can understand the need to see Ryan Day just turn it up a little bit and turn it up a little bit and turn it up a little bit week by week. But like you said, and we've been saying, it's just get you guys in there, win the game, come out healthy. I can see that, but I can understand. Like I said, I can see where some of your nitpickingness came from. But Aaron's with you. It almost felt like a practice.
There were a lot of new faces though. We talked about Phil Daniels was hurt. Carnell Tate was hurt. Edric Houston got his first start in 8 games. Devin Sanchez played the first half. Aaron Scott played a lot. We talked about Isaiah West. Isaiah West played the very first drive and got fucking manhandled in pass protection, which I felt that was. I got PTSD from that shit. That's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened to my ass when I got my first start. But no one popped. Who was even Tegra Chabola? He got out there and whiffed on a fucking screenplay. Nate Roberts, they kept shoving him out there, whether it be a fullback or that second tight end. He didn't really explode. There were just a lot of guys that had a lot of opportunity to do something.
Nate Roberts got a chance at the end zone too, huh?
Yeah, I mean they're he's the fucking fullback. Like they're dead set on him being the H-back or whatever you want to call it. There were just opportunities for these guys to do something they didn't. I don't really know how to describe it other than that.
No, I think it was at the same time. It's like I said, we're talking about opening field goal, last drive touchdown, 10 points in between their sandwiches. Buckeyes time of possession being 41 minutes, and we saw a nice, 4-minute, almost 5-minute drive, 15 plays, score a touchdown. It seemed like it was. Let's just go when you're playing the college football game and you don't want to go into your favorites, those plays that just are world beaters against the computer. You just let me just go through the coach suggestions. Okay, sure, a give, why not? Well, just a little dive play up the 2, why not? It felt like that. I think you're justified in saying that. Absolutely.
Yeah. One more guy, then I'll leave it alone. Zion Grady was another dude. I talked about Zion Grady in the spring. That's one of my favorite recruits. Very, very explosive pass rusher. He played a lot. A lot, and he was disappointing. He had very little awareness. There was a running play. I think the quarterback for Purdue, it was like an RPO, and Zion Grady bit on the fake. Again, these aren't bad things. None of these things, when I bitch about Isaiah West or when I bitch about Miley Graham dropping the ball, those aren't bad. These are all young guys. They're allowed to do that, but none of them did anything. Does that make sense what I'm saying? None of
them had to get back. No one had to make up for it. No one had anything that erase that out of your memory.
Yeah, or like you, it's not. I'm not saying that these guys are going to suck. That's not what this means at all. But I thought we were going to see someone emerge that was going to be like, that's the playoff guy. That's the guy we're going to see. He's touching the field now, but by the time we're deep in the playoffs, he's going to be a fucking guy. Like he's going to be a part of the fucking machine.
Lighten the fuse now. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that just did not happen. No one showed up. No one looked like a guy that was going to be a playmaker at the end of the year. And I didn't think that just kind of bummed me out.
No, I think the only thing that bummed me out more than anything, I took it as it was. It's a team that, again, like we've talked, it's going to take it slow, going to be methodical, going to keep people healthy. You're never going to come out completely healthy by, week 13 we play Michigan. It's just not going to happen. But at the same time, I think the only thing I was upset about was the second teamers giving up the touchdown. I'd like to see the Bucks keep Purdue out of the end zone. I think that was really my only big nitpick, because I can understand the gravity of it. You want to see Ohio State be explosive every series they're out there on the field, without question. But
yeah,
I can understand your gripes, without question. Will chimes in. I was surprised about Grady also. Let's hope the playing coaches play their ego if they have one. Well, it's kind of a balancing act nowadays.
Yeah, he was interesting because he got in there early and often, and we saw him be really explosive in the spring. Where that first step off the line of scrimmage was borderline elite.
Right.
And that didn't stop against Purdue, but it was like he bit on a couple fakes, one, and then he was one play where he looked complete. He made it past the line of scrimmage. He's like, all right, where's the ball? And then a dude just fucking sided him, and I was like, oh, dude, that's embarrassing. But I mean, it's not embarrassing. It is what it is. But it's just like that was a guy that when he got out there, I got all excited. Like, okay, he's gonna do something special. I was like, oh,
you went ahead and grabbed the wife and shook her awake. Like, look.
Yeah, it's happening. And that was a mistake for sure. But that doesn't mean he's gonna be bad. It just means that he's probably not going to be the dude. It's just the season is so long. If Ohio State is going to win a national championship, someone that we have not seen or we have not been accustomed to is going to step up. They're just going to. It's going to happen. And I don't know who that's going to be.
Well, could you tell me who it was last year?
I was trying to think of that as I was talking. I guess it was just like Luke Montgomery. For sure, Luke Montgomery.
Okay. I like that. Carson
Hinzman.
Carson Hinzman looked good in the playoff run last year. Yeah.
Yeah, Carson Hinzman isn't a bad one. The reason I didn't pick Carson Hinzman is because he did start the year before, right? So we knew Carson Hinzman was good.
But we also knew all of the why is he not out there. Yeah.
It's not a bad pick, right? That's a good pick. But Luke Montgomery, when he played early on in the year, you could see the growth. Right. The growth went on. And it was like, and by the time Michigan rolled around, you're like, that guy's a fucking dude. I think that guy's going to be a fucking dude. And this year, he's a dude. You know what I mean? And by the time the playoffs ended, he was one of the more quality offensive linemen. He started out as what? The 8th offensive lineman? And then he ended the year as what? The 4th best?
Yeah.
3rd best? That's incredible.
3 or 4,
yeah, that's crazy. So that's going to happen again. I mean, Caden McDonald. I would classify Caden McDonald like that. Right. Okay. Last year we had 2 guys that both in the NFL, and Caden McDonald fought with those guys. By the end of the year, he was deep into the rotation. We knew who he was. We knew he was going to be a starter the next year.
Made a name for himself. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I guess those are probably the two big guys that come to mind.
Okay, let's just hope that this team has made the playoffs look completely different. Let's hope they break out of this the last game of the season that keeps going. Again. We want to. Don't get me wrong, Will. Josh and I will take a 1-point victory over Michigan. We know that losing that game doesn't determine the national championship. Not last season and not this season, but we'll take a 1-point victory. But we do want to see everything come together, and this looks like a completed project, beating Michigan going into the Big Ten championship. Moving on, we've got a fun game this weekend. The UCLA Bruins come to Columbus. We've confirmed this is a 7:30 Eastern start. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are we anticipating a jersey change this week? This is the second to last game in the shoe. Last night game.
Yeah, you know what? They haven't worn anything weird, have they?
Haven't worn anything weird yet this season. This is their last night game in the shoe. Do they
break out? It's got to be.
They break out the reds. Do they break out the grays? I mean, are they holding it in their pocket in case they, aren't Big Ten champions and get a home playoff game?
Chances are it's just going to be your standard scarlet jersey. But what if it's not, Chris? What if it's something I've never seen before?
What if it's the same What if it's the scarlet and red, like the Big Ten commentators this weekend? The scarlet and
The
red.
Scarlet Road, dude, I was dying when he said it.
It wasn't Jake. It wasn't Jake Butt, was it? It was the other one.
No, it was the other one. But Jake Butt
Yeah.
said something stupid later on too. First of all, I'm hoping someone got my old school reference when they're in the therapy session and he's talking about his panties. I looked over at the waitress. I thought, what kind of pants? Chances are they're just white standard cotton. But what if they're not? What if it's a thong? Are we not in the tree? Are we not in the tree? But yeah, dude, the game started out hot. He's like, and coming out is the scarlet and red. And I was like, oh, dude, we're in for a long game. And then Jake Butt rambled on about CJ Donaldson and his weight. Yeah, CJ Donaldson showed up to Columbus 260 pounds. I'm like, I don't think
you gotta you text me as soon as he said that, and you gotta understand my mindset. It's 9:00 in the morning. I'm just sitting down with a coffee.
Right, yeah.
I'm being quiet so the girls don't wake up. I have just the football quiet. I love my family, but Aubrey, she likes to read the bottom line. She was like,
yeah,
hey, do you know that this is the 3-game win streak for UCLA, and they haven't done that since 1927? Like, no, didn't know that. But I'm sitting there. I just got my coffee, and he's like, I'm about to drink. He's like, the scarlet and red. I was like, what the fuck is happening today?
I know, dude.
It's 9 a.m.
Bro. That was bad. Jake Butt was dumb too. You know, it was what it is. It was just so like when he said CJ Donaldson arrived at Columbus at 260, I was like, what the fuck is he talking about, dude?
That is wild. So we've got UCLA coming in Saturday night, 7:30. Being a 7:30 game, being UCLA, are we assuming this is the NBC, the Peacock night game of the week?
No, it's on NBC, right? The Peacock game is
NBC's Peacock, Bubba. One and the same.
No. I know NBC owns Peacock, but this one's actually on NBC. It's not on Peacock, right?
I'm not tamed.
It's not
by
a Peacock
these.
Exclusive game.
I'm not tamed by these anymore. Now that I have that fancy TV box, dude.
Oh,
I'll watch it. I'll watch it in German if I want to.
I do not believe that there is a. I do not believe that this is Peacock exclusive. I guess.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
We're done with that.
I would think so.
Because they do that for Maryland, East Carolina. I don't think they do it for maybe. I don't fucking know. We'll see.
What's your take on Nico Iamaleava coming back to the Horseshoe for the first time since that December shellacking of last year?
Well, he's a new Nico. He really they definitely cooled off the luster, the allure and luster of what they were doing earlier in the year has kind of faded a little bit. But Nico's still good. Nico's the backbone, man. Them and those two running backs are pretty fucking solid too. Berger and Thomas for the transfer from Cal. That offense is not inept, bro. That offense was really never the issue. It's that defense that's fucking porous.
Yeah.
But Nico, man. I mean, he throws for 200 yards and runs for 50 every fucking game, bro. Whether you stack the box or you don't. Kwame Gilmore at wide receiver, that guy's all right. There's just not a lot of talent on that defense, man. That defense is really the real issue. I expect Ohio State to just fucking dominate them. I really do. But I don't think Nico's going to look poor. Nico hasn't looked bad since the firing, really. I mean, even before that, though, he was still the backbone of the team. He'd have 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but it was
Agreed.
2 interceptions were in the last 2 minutes of the game when you're just trying to make shit happen, like me playing the video game. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. It's hard to. They don't maintain the same weight, if you will.
Yeah. Will chimes in. He better bring some extra helmets. Hey-o. Very nice. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that if anything, like you said, they've got 2 good running backs. They've got Nico who can create with his arm and with his feet. I think this is the Buckeyes, best look at somebody that might, again, Nico throws the ball a whole hell of a lot better, but I think this is the closest thing they're going to get to, a quarterback with these set of skills or these set of options like Michigan in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, dude. Different. They're different though. You know what I mean? Nico might be the best quarterback that Ohio State plays all year. That might be a fact. But the talent around
I can see that.
It just really limits him. Michigan, they're gonna try to pound you in the fucking face.
Agreed.
Whether it works or not, I don't know. But
Does Nico stay next year? Transfer Oregon, maybe? What do you think?
I don't know. I would think that they probably have dedicated enough time and money into him where they're going to allow him to have some kind of stay, or some kind of say in the new hire. I don't. If you guys remember, was it Khalil Tate at Arizona? Was that his name? God damn it! Was that his name? There was a quarterback from Arizona that had I think it was Khalil Tate. He had 2 huge statistical seasons. They fired their coach, and they were between 2 guys. Yeah, that's right. It was Kevin Sumlin and Johnson. Oh, you remember who's the guy that ran the triple option at Georgia Tech when they won all those games in the Orange Bowl in the early 2000s? Johnson, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Johnson.
Yeah, it was between those 2 dudes, and Khalil Tate was like, I want Kevin Sumlin because he runs them, a high flying. I'm going to throw the ball. Oh, yippee. And then someone was like, you fucking suck. Kid got benched for 4 games. He was a guy who he ran the ball. He actually should have picked the option coach. But whatever. My point is that I would envision Nico allowed having some kind of say, which would also allow him to stay. Plus, I don't know if anybody else is going to want him, man. He's kind of a dick, right?
I know what I mean? I can definitely see that. See that. Well, as of right now, it was earlier today, Buckeyes were 31.5-point favorites. Do you like that number compared to these last 2 weeks? Giving up a 10, giving up a 14. Do you like that number of 31.5? Buckeyes favor?
I don't know if I'm going to bet this game, but I can tell you I have no interest in betting UCLA. That number could be 35, and I would still lean Ohio State. I don't see. I just see them cruising, man. I don't think UCLA can stop them, bro. I mean, Ohio State, again, they did not blow the doors off of Purdue, right? So if Ryan Day comes out there and plays games, that's my only hesitation. But that's the only way they don't score. That's the only way they don't blank UCLA and put 50 on the board is if Ryan Day plays games. And even then, I don't know if they're bad games.
I mean, you got to look at when the Buckeyes put up more than 40 a game. It's really off of big plays and quick drives. We're talking about Grambling State. We're talking about an 85-yard touchdown to Jeremiah Smith, turn around, get the ball right back. That's kind of the only time you see the Buckeyes this year scoring big. And again, we're not complaining. So
no.
We're not complaining here. No, I'm obviously taking the Bucks in this one. I'd like to see. I don't know. It's been a good year of college football for the Buckeyes. You expect everything that we've seen, and I'm looking for the little things now. I want to see if we're wearing some kind of jersey combo. You know what? Bring back the heritage stripe. There it is. I want the heritage stripe back. Get the black off the shoulder. Go back with the gray and the whites.
It should be noted that the spread has gone up. So the spread is up to 32.5. So apparently Ohio State's got steam. So that's interesting to know.
They saw Carnell Tate at a Chipotle or jogging somewhere down the street. Okay.
That motherfucker looks fine.
There's nothing wrong with him.
You play, hey, Carnell, you playing? Yeah. Put all my money on you, Carnell.
Okay. Go with the black. I can see the black. Being a night game, haven't worn them yet. Last night game in the shoe.
People love those fucking black jerseys. I can't tell you how many people text me on a weekly basis asking me when Ohio State is wearing all black again. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Why is that?
You tell them scarlet and red.
Oh my yeah, that's exactly what I told you.
Tell them scarlet and red. All right, well, that is Saturday. That is 7:30. That is on NBC. We got Friday night Big Ten football, my friend. Minnesota goes to Oregon, where they are Oregon's 25.5-point favorites. It is a 9 p.m. Fox game, my friend. Late one for you. Who you got?
Yeah, man. Both of these teams have not looked great the last couple of weeks. Minnesota's coming off the bye. But I'm going to have action, bro. It's Friday night. I'm taking Oregon, dude. What was the spread when I gave it to you?
You gave it to me at 23.5.
It's gone up to 24.5. That sucks. That's a pretty big pretty big jump. 24 is kind of a key number, but whatever. I'm still fully intending on taking Oregon. I'd probably even wait on this until probably bet it Wednesday, Thursday. Probably Wednesday to see if it goes back down.
No,
Friday.
I can definitely see that. No, that game is 9 p.m. Friday on Fox. We've got a comment here. Chris, are you from Ohio? Yes, I am originally born and bred in Ohio.
I thought you were from parts unknown.
Oh, god damn.
Who was it, Kane or Undertaker, or both? Was it both?
No. That's
Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate
You're right.
Warrior. The Undertaker was like Brimstone, Texas, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Saturday, noon kickoff on Fox. We've got Michigan, 11.5-point favorites, going to Northwestern. Who we taking on that one, friend? Michigan coming off the bye week.
Both coming off of a bye week, dude. I'm still going to take Michigan. Michigan, they're just way better. Northwestern fucked up too because this is at Wrigley. So that's like a fun trip. So it's not going to be a home game for Northwestern at all. Like they fucked up entirely.
No, I'm taking Michigan in this one. I will be tuned into this one. This is going to be cool to watch it in Wrigley, obviously. But Michigan's going to roll. Who does Michigan got next week, by the way? Before the Buckeye game.
Question. Let's look. Maryland.
Okay. All right. Well, we can anticipate Michigan winning. Actually, I got a college football question for you after this, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, give me Michigan. Give me 11.5. I like that. That's noon on Fox. Wisconsin going to Indiana. Indiana favored by 30.5 points. It's a noon kickoff on the Big Ten Network. Indiana, how are they looking after that win last week? We know we saw a bunch of injuries. What are we thinking?
So this line's actually gone down. I don't really know why, because Wisconsin's coming off of a huge win.
Right.
Huge win. And to me, that's way more like shocking and going to fuck up a locker room more than any close win for Indiana. I'm taking Indiana, dude. I don't know if I'm going to physically – I don't know if I have the balls to actually lay the number with my real money, but I have no intentions on taking Wisconsin. I would certainly lean Indiana here.
No, that was a thank you to the program. They said Luke's not going nowhere. They got a big win in Camp Randall, but Indiana's Indiana. I think Indiana still beats them with half of that offense missing. I figure that they still find a way. So give me that. But that's a noon kickoff on Big Ten. We've got Iowa traveling to Southern California to take on the Trojans, who are 7-point favorites. That's 3:30 on the Big Ten Network. Who we got?
Dude, that's a good question, man. So you got Iowa. Both these teams looked so good last week. I'll take Iowa. Iowa getting 6.5 points. That's a lot of points. I think I might actually put money on this.
Okay, I think USC's victorious here, but I can definitely see why you take Iowa there.
This is the best game of college football this weekend, dude.
This is an
incredible game. I was both these teams are good. Both these teams are no. I guess is Iowa out. I was probably out. Yeah, I was out of the play. But USC is very much alive. Very much alive.
So. Will, yes, I am. I was surprised that Tuesday it was announced that Luke Fickell will be back next year to coach. No, this is a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's intriguing. I'm concerned about Iowa going on that slope now. You see them in the college football rankings last week, sitting there right around 20. I think that they might have given it everything they got to pull off that win and blow their wad, do everything they can to win that game, and they fall short last week. But give me USC on this one. And of course, we're done talking about it after this week with the travel.
Yeah. So before we move on to the next game, because I got the standings pulled up, realistically, Iowa is out of the playoff picture, correct?
Yes.
So who's left? Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, USC, Michigan. That's it?
Those are the 5.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Something to monitor.
We can anticipate USC rising. We can see Michigan staying put or dropping off the bye week. I mean, we could arguably see A&M overtake that 2 spot from Indiana, but we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
Super interesting. We got another comment. I'm certain it's super interesting as well. Iowa had a respectable offense for the last 5 years, and they're a top 10 team. They kind of shot themselves in the foot a time or two last week, but they looked effective.
Yeah, dude. You could tell that people haven't been paying attention to Iowa. I was watching another podcast where they were talking Iowa, and they're like, Iowa hit a couple 40-yard passes. And it's like, dude, Gronowski, Tim Lester and Gronowski and this offense and how they use that Weechin, it's not a bad offense, man. It's not a bad offense. This is Iowa's taken up a notch. Now, they're not scoring 80 points a game, but when they need it, they're certainly a threat to get it. I think that's the difference, right? It's kind of like I don't know, like Ohio. People make fun of Ohio State because they suck in the red zone, they suck in short yardage situation, but most of the time they get what they want, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're satisfied with the end result.
Yeah, we bitch, but that's because we're nitpicky. Typically, they do smash it in. It just takes way too long, right? I was kind of like that with the passing game now, where it's like, yeah, that's not their bread and butter, but they can fucking do it now. So.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that one. We've got the Maryland Terrapins going to Champaign to take on the Illinois Fighting Illini at 3:30 on Fox Sports 1. Illinois is a 14.5-point favorite. Who you got, bud?
Dude, Maryland's done. Illinois is coming off of a bye. Maryland got fucking destroyed last week. Illinois is good. Illinois is at home. I might actually put money on this game, dude. What would you say the spread was?
14.5.
So it's going up to 15.5. Dude, I don't fucking care. I would take this probably all the way up to 17. I'm legit thinking about this.
No, I agree. I think Maryland is went ahead and battened the storm hatches, if you would, and they've called it on their season. Illinois, they've got their 3 losses, but they're fighting for anything and everything because they've got talent. It's not a question. Brett Bielema coach team, so they're going to keep playing without question. Maryland again start off well and fades down the stretch. Nailed it, Will.
Every time.
Nailed it, my friend.
They start off home because they play Florida Atlantic, Florida International, and Towson. That's the fucking problem.
No, I agreed. Penn State 7-point favorites going to East Lansing take on the Michigan State Spartans. That's 3:30 on CBS. Who we got?
I'll go with Penn State, man. I know Michigan State's coming off of the bye.
Yes.
Yeah, they're coming off of a bye. But Penn State's not bad. Penn State it's just so much hard. It's really hard to fuck up that amount of talent, dude. And I think there's a clear gap in talent between a team like Penn State and Michigan State. So I'm taking Penn State, even though they've lost
6 in a row.
They've lost 6 in a row.
They've
lost 6 in a row, and they're still favored by a touchdown and a hook. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is wild. Well, that's Indiana's schedule also. No, I agree with you there, Will.
You know what's funny about that is that
that
people are still talking shit about the Ohio State schedule. I don't know if they're good because I don't know if they haven't played. I sent you that podcast. That's what that fucking guy said last week, right? And I love Matt. Matt's a good guy, by the way. Definitely check out that pod. Matt's a good dude, but that's what he's not the only one that they all say that Ohio State schedule's garbage. Who the fuck is Indiana play? What do you mean? Like, what do you fucking mean, dude? Ohio State. I'll tell you what, Ohio State put Penn State the fuck away.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. But no, you're right. If Penn State 6-game losing streak, I don't think we've ever said that in our lifetime, and the talent is just still leaps and bounds better than what's at Michigan State, and obviously, I mean, we saw Nick Singleton play last week the way we expected Nick Singleton to play and get the ball and create in space the way we saw all last year. Yeah. So give me Penn State. Give me Penn State by how you can give it to me by 14. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And last game on the schedule, we've got Purdue going to Washington, heading up to Seattle, where Washington is a 16.5-point favorite. 7 p.m. Fox Sport 1. Washington, we assume Washington's out of it too.
Yeah, Washington's definitely out of it. This game it's another hard one to bet, but you expect Washington to bounce back. It's only hard because Purdue did look competent. They've looked competent the last couple weeks, right? They have. They've had a plan. The plan doesn't work, but they have a plan. There's pieces of the plan that do work, or that look better than others. I saw someone in the chat who was it that pointed out CJ Nunnally. Who was it? Was it Aaron? Someone said, "Oh no, it was Will." Did anyone notice 91 on Purdue get this guy? He's not going to be in the portal, bro. I think he's been in college for 6 goddamn years. CJ Nunnally was the sack leader in the MAC for Akron about 3 years ago. But the point is that Purdue's got talent, or they've looked a lot better recently. But I still got to go with Washington. Washington's at home. And you got to expect them to bounce back. There are flashes there of a team that's, playoff caliber.
No, I agree with that one absolutely. Indiana's living off that Oregon game. Ohio State schedule has been weak a bit, just taking care of teams as they should. Pivotal control, won't argue that.
It needs to be noted, Oregon has 1 win. No, 2 wins. 2 wins against Power 5 teams with the winning record. Northwestern and Iowa. 2. That's it. 2. Everybody else has a losing record. Think about that.
Ooh, good pull, buddy. Good pull. Yeah, give me Washington this one. They're upset with themselves. They're disappointed with themselves after that loss last week, but they're going to come back. They're going to roll. It's not a problem. Purdue again. We've been saying it for the last it seems like 5 weeks now. Purdue's got something. You know, like you said, everyone's got to play until they get punched in the mouth, and that's kind of the Purdue Boilermakers right now.
Yeah, they definitely have a pulse. I mean, the Big Ten, everybody, except for Michigan State. I think Michigan State might be the fucking clown. I haven't seen Michigan State. I can't remember the last time I watched a Michigan State game. It was like, that's something there. Maybe when they fucking beat Boston College and they fooled me because I didn't know Boston College was ass as well. You know what I mean? Like Michigan State is fucking bad. But other than Michigan State, every fucking team has a pulse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can say what you want, but most teams don't want to fucking play Purdue. If you look at teams outside the top 25, Purdue, they might not want to fuck with them. So Michigan State's the only team that's like, oh, that's blatant ass.
No, I agree with that one. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Will chimes in. Does Oregon play USC? Yes. The Trojans last week of the season go to Eugene, Oregon. That'll be a big one. But again, maybe like I said, I really didn't delve into it. But Josh is right. They've beaten 2 Power 5 teams with winning records.
And I want to be very clear. I think Oregon is good, right? I'm not trying to like demean anybody's opinion or say that you're wrong. If you think that Indiana's better or Indiana's schedule's better, you're allowed to think that. But there's this narrative out there that anybody who disagrees with that, it's based purely on bias. And it's like, well, that's not – you can pick apart – I guess my point is you can pick apart everybody's resume. You just can't. We're at that point of the season where, you want to get the transitive property of it all. It makes everything look all fuzzy. And that's fine. It is what it is. That's what makes football great. It's just but there is Ohio State gets the benefit of receiving media bias because they're Ohio State, but they also get the downside of that, which is even when they do deserve the credit they're given, people assume it's because of the media bias that they get because they're Ohio State. So, and I just think Ohio State has looked very, 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 very competent. I think they're the best team in the Big Ten. I think they're the best team in the country.
No arguments here, my friend. We've covered the Buckeyes 34-10 recap of or beatdown of Purdue. We've previewed the Buckeyes and the Bruins this weekend, Saturday, 7 p.m. on NBC. We've covered the Big Ten slate. Anything before we wrap up for the week, my friend?
No, I believe Will asked if we're surprised Luke Fickell stayed. Yes. Very surprising.
I'm surprised that news came on a Tuesday. Yes.
He's not going to – I don't know. That is a mistake. That is a mistake. Sean Lewis, who's coaching at San Diego State, is a Wisconsin grad, I believe. I don't know why they're not picking up the phone trying to call him. That's a guy who – remember that 1 year Kent State was good? That was Sean Lewis. And then they fell off the face of the earth. It's just weird.
You mean the same bias as all the SEC teams?
Yeah.
I would say the same. Yeah, I would say the same. But again, we got to look at – we call it bias, so we just call it looking at, past seasons. Who's always there?
So in the SEC bias, so I would say Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame.
The Blue Bloods. We're talking Blue Bloods.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like because I would consider like USC and Michigan Blue Bloods, but they don't really get the same kind of bias as Ohio State. Like those recent powerhouse Blue Bloods, because there's only about 5-6 every year that receive that innate bias where you're just ranked higher. You just are because you're this person. Right. They just expect you to. But the SECs, they have an extra layer of like weird bias where, like a team like Illinois. Illinois is a tough team. Illinois is a good team. Mm-hmm. Illinois, no one wants to play Illinois. Let's look at the Big Ten standings. we talked about Iowa is not going to make the playoffs.
No.
Minnesota's not going to make the playoffs. Nebraska's not going to make the playoffs. Washington's not going to play the playoffs. Illinois, Northwestern, UCLA, right? Well, a lot of those teams are fucking tough. Iowa's tough.
Yep.
Nebraska's tough. Washington's tough. I mean, these are tough. These are teams that they might win the Big 12. I don't fucking know. Maybe they wouldn't, but they'd be right there in the thick of it. We talked about Purdue having a poll. I mean, Purdue's a pretty good team for being completely the fucking bottom of the barrel in the Big Ten. But the no one really sees it like that. And the SEC, for some reason, they do, right? Like the SEC, like someone said, I heard someone say Mississippi State was good. Like Georgia beat Mississippi State, and they were like, Mississippi State's tough. Starkville, baby, Stark Vegas. The Mississippi State's tough. And it's like Mississippi State fucking blows. Why is Mississippi State viewed as better than fucking Purdue? Because you know what I mean? It's just maybe they are. I'm not saying that they're not. It's just that's how the SEC bias works. Is that like they always have the playoff rankings last week were a good indicator, and that's how you can always identify the SEC bias. Tennessee's ranked 25. Why is Tennessee ranked 25? They're only ranked 25 because they can say that the other SEC teams that beat Tennessee have beaten a top 25 ranked team, right? There are 10 other schools that have the same record as Tennessee. Why is Tennessee ranked top? That's the only reason. That's the only reason. It's why week in and week out, typically the highest ranked 3-loss team is an SEC team, right?
Yeah.
The highest ranked 2-loss team is typically an SEC team. Right. Every now and again, it's a Big Ten team. Like I think again, well, of course, I guess wrong last week because I said Oregon was a top-ranked one team, and you pointed out that it was not. It was Alabama, right?
Yeah.
And they also do this thing too, where you see it. You see it now, right? All of a sudden, Alabama, they're allowed to slip up. They slipped up against Florida State. When the Big Ten loses, it's not a slip up. I don't know if it's how our fans handle it or it's how Northern media handles it, where the world's ending. I don't know, but they just don't do that in the SEC. Every game's a big game, too. Like, that environment in South Carolina, it's really hard. It's really intense. You ever been to Lexington? Lexington, it's fucking lit. Like, dude, fuck off. Like, what do you mean? They just do that. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's just a different kind of bias there.
They have all earned, to be honest. Several teams winning championships more capable of winning it all.
Are you talking about the SEC? Because I don't think, who other than Alabama and Georgia, LSU in 2019. There's an awful lot of nothing. Right? Oklahoma, they didn't win shit in the Big 12 for about 10 fucking years before they left, right? Brad Venables was 500 in the Big 12. Texas, they haven't won shit in forever. It's been since Mac Brown, who had was able to walk, since they won shit. Ole Miss never wins shit. Vanderbilt, they always fucking suck. Tennessee doesn't win shit. Missouri doesn't win shit. Who's winning? You know what I mean? Like how, the Big Ten's the one that's got the last 2 national championships. Ever since everybody's been able to pay everybody, the Big Ten's pretty much run the fucking show. And the SEC is a great conference. I don't think that the Big Ten is that much better than the SEC. I want to be very clear. And if you think the SEC is better, that's fine. But the narrative has always been there's this huge gap, and that's just entirely untrue. And I think that that's the reason why. Is because no one ever says the shittiest SEC team. It's hard. You rarely hear someone say that team sucks. But you hear people say Purdue sucks all the time. You just do.
Agreed. Before we run too long over here, we're going to close it down. But I'm going to show off. Go ahead. Quinshon Judkins, rookie origin.
Ooh,
okay.
Nice.
Travion Henderson had a killer game, 2 touchdowns, 150
that was numbered.
yards, and numbered to 200 on that one.
Nice, dude.
And you'd love this. You'd love this. Number to 99 freshman, number 12, signed Emeka Ibuka. Number 12.
Oh, I do love that one. That one's cool, bro.
Number 12.
Number to 12?
No, he wearing number 12. Number to 99. Number to 99 on that one.
That's still cool though. That's still that's very super
cool.
short print.
Very cool.
That's awesome, dude. I like that one. Is that thick too?
It's a thick one. It's a thickie. Party people, Chris. I know. I'm trying to keep it to an hour. I know we could sit here and talk all day. I've got. God knows what's outside that door right now. I'm about to walk into. I know Josh's probably in the same camp too. We like to try to keep it to an hour, but of course we sit here and talk. All you guys can. Sorry, my spelling autocorrect is awful, and we don't care. We're not grammar Nazis on here. Can you say?
No, I love it. I love Party Cooper. I'm gonna say that.
I'll change my name.
Party Cooper.
But we'll be back next week. We're going to be talking hopefully an Ohio State over UCLA victory. Look ahead to Ohio State and Rutgers and the rest of the Big Ten schedule. We'll talk about the playoff rankings that come out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Just get Josh worked up again. We'll stay all night. Yeah, you were fucking pretty fired up last week, bud. But you didn't go back and watch it. I was like, I went to the bedroom. I was like, Jen, watch this.
Really? Was I that? I'll have to go back and watch it.
You said, oh yeah, fucking Sam Houston State is awesome. They're undefeated.
Oh, dude, fucking Sam Houston State, bro. I cannot believe they fucking. I tell you what, dude. I'm gonna have to one year when I have more time, I'm gonna start a gambling podcast where I can just vent about the fucking times I like. Liberty did too, dude. I bet on Liberty every fucking week, bro.
It's that haircut, man. It's that haircut. You said it.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Oh,
if you really want to see me worked up, go check out what the fuck is the name of that podcast, dude. Oh, Team NBS Media. Check out our dude Bill Carroll and Matt there. But yeah, I get fucking heated on that one, bro. I get heated on that one, dude. They had to fucking mute my ass.
That's great. That's great. Love it. But each and every one of y'all, Aaron, Will, everybody else in the chat, thanks for guys stopping by again. As always, we'll see you guys next week, same time, same YouTube channel. Give us a like, give us a follow, comment, tell somebody they want to listen to some Buckeye stuff. Send them on over. We greatly appreciate it.
Definitely check us out on Spotify too. We were doing pretty solid, getting a couple extra clicks. That kind of faded away. I think it's because everybody prefers YouTube. That's fine, is what it is. But yeah, hit us up on X too. My DMs are always open. People have been more active on X, hitting me up, so that's cool. I appreciate that. So
absolutely. But again, as always, till next time, go Bucks.